Two. All right,
Okay.
everybody. Hello. Welcome into the office. Everybody, this is the Oni podcast, the office of nerdy intelligence. My name is Cole. You can also find me on TikTok as Internet Tour Guide. Over here, somewhere, depending on where the editor puts us, is Jack113, Jacktop on TikTok. Hello, everybody. We're going to be talking about Halo today. We're going to be talking about nerd stuff. This is the podcast where we talk about whatever we want, but a lot of it is about Halo. Jack, hello. Happy Halloween, hangover day, whatever. You
Happy All Souls Day.
Is that what it is? Is that a real thing? I don't know about
Yeah,
that.
yeah, 'cause, so traditionally Halloween is All Hallows Eve. It's the day before All Souls Day, and, like, that's
Mm,
where the tradition started. I don't really care, but that's just what today happens to be.
mhm. What is the name of the are you witchy, by the way?
Yes. Yes,
You're
just a little
witchy?
bit.
Okay, what is it Samhain? What is the original name for Halloween or something that I just
Oh,
learned?
something like that. Yeah, it's like Sam Hain. Sam Hain.
Yeah, good luck with the auto transcription, whatever AI is reading this, set down the future on that one.
Yeah. So
Dude, yes, there's Halo stuff, Halo Combat Evolved remake stuff. Halloween was good. I am curious. I'm sure that we'll talk about Halloween a little bit through this because we're recording this the day after Halloween. But everybody, Halo Studios has announced it. Jack, I'll throw over to you just to like catch us up on like where we're at in the timeline for like Halo announcement stuff and how fans are feeling. But I've got a lot of questions. I've got a lot of things that I want to say. I
perfect.
want to propose the plan forward for the
Yes.
remake.
All right. So, to catch all of us up, Halo Studios last week at HCS announced several things. The first thing, the biggest thing, is the Halo Combat Evolved remake. Halo Combat Evolved, Halo Campaign Evolved, Halo Combat Evolved 3, Electric Boogaloo, if you will. Number one.
That's the full title.
Yes, the whole title.
All of that is the whole title.
Um, Two, they announced that HCS will be converting over to Halo Fest. So we're getting a new Halo based con, and fans are kind of excited, thinking that this is the Halo Outpost Discovery recurring event that we are looking forward to in the future. As a Halo cosplayer, I'm jazzed about that jazz.
Good podcast etiquette. Nice stuff right there.
Right into it. They got to get it nice and crisp.
Is that hopium, by the way? Like, what does yeah? Because Outpost Discovery was like a major thing. Is this just a rebrand of HCS as far as you're aware?
As far as I'm aware, it's a rebrand of HCS, but
Okay.
from people who've been going to HCS, they have been saying it's the closest thing to Halo Outpost Discovery that we've gotten since. And like they do on-stage events and they've got
Mm.
like, vendors and stuff. They just don't have any of the attractions, but we'll see what Halo Fest does. I won't be able to make it next year because I'm going to be on a cruise, but I do have Fireteam Discord operatives going to recon recon the location before we fully deploy the fire team.
Okay. Is it just like hopium though? Is like because have they announced specific things that make it sound like Outpost Discovery, or is this one of those things they've announced something and we don't have a lot of details, so we're gonna hope that it's the biggest and best version? Is it that?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I think it's a little bit of both. Like I said, I think based on what HCS has been, even if they just continue expanding on that, I think that that's what the Halo fans are like. Okay, well, this is close enough, so we're having a good time. And I mean, they do call it Halo Fest, so maybe it'll have some more stuff that's not just competitive. We don't know a lot of answers yet, but it is a lot of hopium and
And
speculation.
when is that supposed to be?
This is going to be December 11th through the 13th, 2026.
2026. Okay.
Yeah, so next year.
That's so are we in camp we're not gonna get a remake before the Halo Combat Evolved remake at this point? Because I have been in camp we're gonna get a multiplayer only game announcement at some point that's gonna be shadow dropped like this year, but that's like feeling more and more hopium copium like reserves
I have
or low.
honestly, I have no idea. I'm gonna sip my as a Halo fan. I'm going to take my squishy Mark IV helmet and I'm gonna squeeze it and I'm gonna pray for more Halo news so that I can know how to set my expectations. But until they
Mhm.
tell me when, I have no idea of what this timeline is going to be. I would like to see them announce a multiplayer thing, but since we're gonna can we dive into something real quick? Because I
Yeah,
wanted this was
please.
something
Yeah,
that we
no, hit
missed
me,
yesterday
please.
that I really
Structure me up.
no. So we're gonna talk one a little bit about fan sentiment, but specifically, I want to talk about their early announcement this year and where our confusion on the timelines, right?
Yeah,
Um, so Halo Studios slash 343 has always been a like is going dark while working on projects company. We don't know a lot about what goes on behind the doors unless we have insider intel. Like they don't make a lot of posts that are too blatant. They're just like, "Hey, we're working on this. Here's a couple screen grabs or whatever." But
I have to say, they're always like that until they hit the point where they every single Halo cycle, it'll probably happen in the next 8 months at some point, and they'll say like, "Everybody, now it's the time for open communication.
yeah,
We know that the fans need some more comms. Here you go, bud." Sorry.
no, you're good. It's perfect. That's exactly how they are. But there was something I was going back through our news source notes for
Mhm.
this podcast specifically, and one of the things that I don't know if it was said by a source that I do not remember the exact source of. So this is technically hearsay. But after Halo Infinite, it was determined that because of the whole like internal turmoil slash contractor thing that Microsoft had done, that Halo Studios was less likely to be fully producing games going forward in the future and more taking an advisory role. And so other studios will probably be getting more green lights to make games with Halo Studios overseeing them making that. And that's what
You're
I've
saying
heard.
that that was the assumption for
Yes,
a
that
while.
was the assumption.
Okay.
So that may be where we're at with Halo games going forward. And that's why we're getting weird news things like the Combat Evolved remake is like coming out next year. And we don't know anything about the multiplayer one because somebody else is working on that and they're not ready to announce that yet. I don't know.
But another studio is working on the Halo Combat Evolved remake as well,
Correct.
and I know that, like, we've spoken about that a little bit, but this feels like a weird portion of the internet has memory hold this thing that every single person was talking about for the conversation about the Halo Combat Evolved remake, which is that
Yes.
this is being primarily developed by Virtuous Studios. We haven't heard anything from Halo Studios since the announcement about
Yeah.
that. And it seems like everyone say, "Well, this is their test game, and, like, this is how they develop on the Unreal Engine, and this is how they get their workflows down." But we have no idea what the actual layout of the studio looks like and how those teams are communicating with one another, or if those rumors all turned out to actually be true and to how big an extent. We have no information about that, and I feel like that's the kind of information that would give people a lot more confidence into the way that they work, because if you're confident with the way that somebody works, you can probably get a lot more confidence about what they're gonna deliver to you as far as a deliverable in the form of a game.
Yes. So this may end up just being so after our conversation about this the other day, my brain gears were turning and I'm like, instead of this being Halo Studios test run, this may be the outsourcing test run of Halo content where like it's Halo Studios testing their advisory role ability to make games while letting other studios do it. I have no idea, but that's just my speculation.
Yeah, the thing is we just don't know how much of the studio is, internal from Halo Studios. We don't know how much of the studio and the actual development staff are working on it from that third-party studio. Obviously, we've seen interviews from people from Halo Studios that are working on the game. So,
Yes.
neither of us are under the impression that there are, no employees, full-time employees of Halo Studios that are working on the game, but we don't know the extent.
Yeah,
So
we
it's
have no
odd, and
idea.
we don't know how information is flowing back and forth between those 2 things. But I agree, it could be that. I mean, if it is that, and if this ends up costing them significantly less, for example, then maybe it makes sense on paper, revenue wise, for them to be devoting this kind of resource to. We've got a couple of creative leads, directors who are overseeing this third party studio who can, for relatively cheap, make a pretty compelling updated campaign experience that we can then probably emulate for Halo 2 and Halo 3 and then, whatever at that point.
Yes, yes. And building on that point, I was watching, I believe was it Hidden Xperia's video the other day,
Mm.
and that lucky man, he got into a private meeting with a couple of the devs, And one of the things that this is going to segue into our next thing because you were going to lay out the roadmap, right? Is not just us, not just the Oni podcast, not just content creators, you, the fans. Halo Studios is listening, right? Even though it may feel like they have zero communication, they have stated that they are receiving feedback, and the louder the fan sentiment and feedback, the better. So don't just work within the confines of this announcement. If you want something in a Halo game, voice that opinion loud and proud and make sure that they hear it. Put it on Reddit, put it on YouTube, make a TikTok, do it. Put it in our comments right now. Go down into our comments section and put what you want from the next Halo game or what you want to see in Halo Campaign Evolved. Cole, I will hand it over to you for what you want to see from Halo Campaign Evolved.
Sure, happy to. Halo Studios and the fans. This is a pitch that I'm going to be doing on the fly that I've talked through a couple of times with Jack. But here's how you save Halo Combat Evolved. And when I say save, I mean make it an experience that people want to keep on coming back to for years. So, you guys have already, for whatever reason, in your marketing and the way that you guys have discussed this, talked about the importance of skulls and how that is going to make this a very much more replayable experience. This is the most skulls in any of the Halo games so far. I think it was something like 24. I could be wrong on the actual number. But my proposal for you guys to make this more fun, to make this more replayable, so that we don't have the issue of everyone just going, meh, yeah, I guess it was fun for 7 hours, 10 hours, whatever it ends up being, is you expand on the skulls. So instead of having 24, first of all, up that, go to 50, just go crazy. Start taking inspiration from the modding community. It is very, very clear based on all of what we see and what you guys probably see in live streaming numbers and the type of content that people are interested in, that they want the wacky stuff. Expand the number of skulls. And then my ultimate idea for you guys, because I've been advocating for some sort of mods or user generated content to be more heavily embraced, is allow the community to create skulls that people can then download. You guys can whitelist them. You can have your own skull kind of like vetting list, before it's just released into the wild so that you can control the experience on both console and on PlayStation and on Xbox on all platforms. But that's what I think that you guys should do. For whatever reason, you've already attached to this thing, but I think that people are going to get their expectations up if you say this is the coolest skull experience ever and then there's only 24 of them. Like, make them crazy. Take inspiration from Cursed Halo. Add in the ability for people to make user generated content skulls and make that your light modding experience or user generated content experience that makes me realize, oh, I already played the Halo Campaign Evolved remake. But wait a minute. That creator released that skull that gives every grunt a sombrero in the game. And I need to go play that again. So now I'm going to get 10 more hours of experience out of it from this 2 megabyte download in this skull that 343/Halo Studios greenlit and said was a great experience. That's my pitch, basically. I'm talking about constructive things that can actually push them forward, that are not going to be a massive new module added to the development cost of the game because you already have the systems built out. Just get creative and get fun with it and say, this is the reason that you guys are going to come back to the game after your first playthrough for playthroughs 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. I rest
Yes.
my case.
And they already we can see how well skulls work with things that they did with MCC. The whatever, like, flying skull and like the scarab
Acrophobia.
gun skull. Yeah.
Yeah.
And all of the other crazy ones that they added post as updates were super cool. And oh my god, uh other Halo content creators have said this, but in-game skulls need to be collectible and pick upable like in
Hmm.
Halo 3. Because when I
Hmm.
pick up a skull and it's like just this weird little Easter egg, interactable Easter eggs are always really fun. And being able to explore like, this gives me a reason to explore every corner of the map and look for these little nooks and crannies where I might find this Easter egg. And then I've earned it, you know?
Hmm.
It makes the game replayable in that sense too, where like I want to collect all, 100% collect all these skulls. Therefore, I am going to go do this.
I mean, imagine straight up if you just start having, like, stupid crazy ones, like, straight up just pulling from, like, mod project stuff. What if you have the chipmunk skull that, just increases the pitch of every single sound in the game by, like, 75% or something like that, so that everything sounds super squeaky? You could
Yes.
have the banana skull, which makes friction lowered on everything. These are literally just numerical values that you guys can slide. You won't have to build entirely new modules for them to do it, and that's just on the ones that you guys can control. You can have the one, the Halo 3 randomized voice lines. That's a mod that I've played. You could literally just randomize all the voice lines so that it's a super wacky, crazy experience for somebody that wants to do that after their first experience. You can have the Super Saiyan skull, which literally just puts everything in like like that. Like you could do so many different things and it would be so much
Yes.
fun. And a lot of
Another
these,
really
again, you
No, you're good. Yes, I sorry. I know you were getting
it's okay.
animated about it because we're just coming up with ideas. Another really good one that I personally would love to see, is something that Halo Infinite already does. I don't know if you played with, this, Cole, but in, Halo Infinite, they the forgers in the forge tools, so this is already kind of, like, baked
Mhm.
into the weird slipspace engine that we've got, but, in the forge tools, they were able to fuse weapons. Right?
Yeah.
So, like, you could take the one that I always get that crashes the game every time, but you could take the sentinel beam and fuse it with a needler, so you'd have just a solid beam of
Yeah,
needles.
it's great.
And
That was
so
a bug in Halo 5 actually that they then kept on purpose in Halo Infinite, because people
yes,
liked it so much. That would be a great one. It's crazy to me that there's not just a Fiesta skull, for the campaign that just randomizes all the bullets, for every
yes,
gun.
yes, or,
Like,
like,
that's the
it
little
would
kinda stuff.
yes, a fusion skull, you know, you pick up a weapon and then the next gun that you pick
Yeah.
up puts them together.
Yeah, and I will also say that, like, I know that this is, like, a streamer addressing, like, a game studio with wishes, so, like, there's obviously some level of bias there, but, like, you guys probably see what streams perform well on the different platforms. People are interested in these types of experiences, and people are interested in games that are streamable, and these would be really, really low cost ways for you guys to make, like, constant people streaming just like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna do the Squeaker Fiesta Sombrero run." Everybody would wanna watch that. It's fun, it's stupid, it's silly, it's great. People like Halo to be unintentionally or sometimes intentionally funny. That's part of the joke of Halo that we like.
Yes, yes. So, on that note, shall we rewrite our love letter
Let's yes,
for the
please,
bit?
absolutely. Premise us up, real quick, and then let's get into it.
All right. We're going to write a letter to Halo Studios. Our lovely editor is going to put up a little thing that just says a love letter to Halo Studios. So, dear Halo Studios, from the Oni podcast and the greater Halo community, we have some ideas about the Halo Campaign Evolved remake.
Also, how are you? We hope you're doing good. Thanks for the Halo games. We think that what you should be doing is prioritizing an experience that people are excited about playing not just once, but twice, three times, and for the next 25 years of Halo. Just like the first game was a celebration of 25 years of gaming.
Halo, at its core, is about the chaos. Not just the tactical marine missions, not just the body horror of the flood, but the quirkiness of the engine, the shenanigans that fans get up to, ramming a warthog through a doorway that doesn't fit, my body getting sent to space by a random grenade. Capitalize on this. Turn those into modifiers.
Turn them into skulls. For whatever reason, with only 24 and saying that that's the most in any Halo game, you guys have attached to that as a way that people should expect to augment the amount of fun they can have in their experience. Up those numbers, baby. Those are rookie numbers. Up those numbers to 50, 100 skulls. Don't even stop there. Open it up. Let the fans do it for you, baby. You guys can green light them. You can whitelist them. You can do whatever you want. You can have some level of control over it. Make them available on PC and consoles.
Because at the end of the day, the heart, no, the very soul of Halo
I
is is the chaos. It's the fun. And so, it could be something as small as fusing guns, something as large as swapping a character model. But this makes the game infinitely replayable and something that I want to play. And we already have speculated on dozens, if not hundreds, of ideas ourselves. And the community can carry the game forward just like in Forge, allow them to forge the way into the future of campaign evolved.
Also, one more that I just thought of that is really easy that should be implemented is the CRT skull, which is just a filter that makes your game screen look like a CRT TV because people like that kind of stuff for Halo.
And that's our love letter to you, Halo Studios. Make the game modifiers easy to do and let us have some skulls.
And
This
we
is
cordially invite you onto the podcast if ever you would like to have a conversation with us about this.
absolutely. You're welcome on the Oni podcast any day. We'll make time. Have your people talk to our people, talk to your people.
Love
The
the Oni
Oni
podcast.
podcast. All
It
right.
was
Well, edit that.
beautiful.
That's going on TikTok right now.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. We will put that on TikTok.
Uh,
You wanna take a break real quick, and I'll run to the bathroom, and then we can come back?
yes, we'll do our commercial break right here.
Alright.
Note from our sponsors.
The Oni podcast is produced by Internet Tour Guide and Jacktop. Follow them on TikTok for more Halo and gaming content. Check out the Etsy at ripcosplay.etsy.com for nerdy collectibles. And follow Oni Podcast on YouTube and Spotify for bi-monthly uploads. Thank you for coming into the office.
And we're back. All right.
Wow.
So, to warm back up, how was your Halloween? We didn't talk about Halloween stuff yet. So, how was
Oh, it was
yours?
really good. No, good call. Dude, it was great. My dad lives in this neighborhood, in a in a town called Cumming, Georgia. That's not spelled yes,
Hmm.
spelled the yes, like
The
that.
right way, yes.
Yes, spelled coming. So they live up there, and they do it's go crazy. They go all out. I did a bunch of stories about it, but they block off the street. They had like multiple bands playing. They had hundreds and hundreds of people go through the streets. It's literally just full. And it was my daughter's first real Halloween, so like got to she was dancing too. It was really funny. Like she loves dancing and she's very exuberant. She's like me, and so she was like hearing the bands. I'm just going to do an impression of her. And the chair that I'm in is going to be a random person. And this happened to like 25 different people. She'd come up, she'd be like, and she was just like basically, like doing like baby twerking. It was like so funny. It was great.
Yes.
It was super fun though. The kids had a great time. We go up there every year. They like really go all out. It's like Halloween Town. It's like a Disney Channel original movie up there. So it was lit. It was great.
Amazing. And you were dressed as
Generic monk from Amazon because I had that costume for a video that I did, but I ended up actually not publishing like a year ago.
All right, we're gonna put a picture of that right here. Right
Yeah,
where
I
we're
have
right
pictures. I
here.
have pictures. We could do. I'll send a picture. I'll definitely send a picture. But yeah, well, you had a good one though. I know you were at the haunt, obviously. But like, did you do any other Halloween stuff this year?
Uh, that's the thing about working at a haunt is like because every Friday and Saturday is occupied by being a haunted house actor. Um, I all of my stuff revolves around haunt. I mean, though haunted house, we had brownies, we had pizza, we had like our own little like back of house Halloween
Yeah,
party. There's a bunch of zombies ravenously eating pizza in between, scaring the crap out of people.
yeah,
And of course, here's my Halloween costume over here. I was Dr. Von Monskier, the doctor in charge of making all the zombies at the scariest haunted house in the state of Kansas. So if you're ever in
nice,
Kansas, come see us.
nice. Well, speaking of scary, there's one more thing that I wanted to talk about.
All right.
So I don't know if this is just me and like my paranoia and like my brain, but I've been getting weird vibes from a lot of the coverage that I've seen of Halo Studios stuff. I've watched not everything, obviously, and I probably haven't watched like some of the videos from the big content creators, but I am like getting this weird sense, even from some smaller content creators that I know happen to go to Halo Championship Series. There's this weird vibe of like I talked to the devs, so I'm going to speak positively about it, or
Mm.
I'm going to really temper the way that I am maybe giving criticism of the game. And I don't know if anyone else picks up on this. I don't know if this is just me, but this feels like a weird byproduct of the media environment that we're in, where it seems like Halo Studios, from my perspective at least, has actually done a really, really extraordinarily effective job of controlling the narrative from other content creators about this game. I don't know if that's intentional. That seems a little bit paranoid for me to say that it's intentional, but I don't know. I've had multiple comments, like, even from, like, private conversations with people that I'm not gonna say. And it's like, "Well, I know some people at the studio, so, like, I wanna, like, speak about it, in a way that, like, doesn't make them sad or something." It's like, "What the fuck are
Mm.
we talking?" Like, I guess that, like, I don't know. I guess that what I'm trying to say is I'm mad that more of the content creators in Halo aren't journalists, I think, is what I'm trying to say.
Which is fair. Like, so there's been a big, like, so we're discussing Halo content creation at its core essentially, but always been this issue with Halo content creation is we either see absolute rage bait or like positive framing.
Mhm,
There's very little like objective discussion about Halo, because either people see that negative coverage does numbers, and thus every other video is, "Oh, Halo's dead," or,
mhm,
"Ah, they broke it," or you want something positive about Halo, and
mhm.
so thus every video sort of even frames negative things into positive light. And so there is a weird pressure to do that from some content creators' objective, as opposed to just being like, "Hey, this is what's up with Halo, and this is how I feel about it." But a couple of them have, at least. I will give credit. There are a couple of them that do go, "Hey, I'm glad we're getting something Halo, but I'm not exactly excited that we're playing Halo 1 again."
Yeah, I'm not trying to paint with like a broad brush over everybody. It's just I don't know. I've picked up on more of it. There's a lot more defense of the game, and I think I don't know. Maybe I'm just drawing at straws, but I feel like what my mind goes to is like this feels very representative of a lot of the media environment that I feel like we're in, which is basically it feels like right now we're in a media environment where if you have access to some level of information that is valuable, say for Halo Studios in this niche, or say to the government in a very different type of conversation. It seems like many more people are unwilling to bite the hand that feeds,
Mm.
or to potentially risk their access for more what I would call honest criticism of the things that they're reporting on. And I think that that just pisses me off, and I get it, and I don't have that level of access to Halo Studios. So, like, maybe I'd feel totally differently, and maybe I'd be doing something else. But it's pretty easy for me to look at it and think, like, well, of course I wouldn't do that. I'd have my principles, but like,
I know my principles. You see, and also I think it's interesting because we're in very different media spheres,
mm,
and so all of the coverage I've seen of it has been very critical.
okay,
So
interesting. Yeah, no, that's true. That's a good reminder that all of us are living in our own little echo chamber. So it's probably just reinforcing whatever it wants me
it's
to
yeah.
think that I want or whatever.
The algorithm is just like, "Hey, here is your
Yeah.
news sphere." Because like, I listen. The most common videos that I watch are like hidden experience videos, and this
Mhm.
man is unabashed. He was critical of the announcement of the remake backstage at HGS. Like he's
Yeah.
behind the curtain, you could hear them
Nice.
back there, and he's like,
Cool. Okay.
"Halo again."
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that's a little bit where I'm at too on it. It's just I don't know. It's weird. It's weird the level of defense that I feel, especially on TikTok for something like this that just feel it I don't know. I just feel like the criticisms that are being lobbied at the game are not the right ones. And I
yes.
know I've said that before, but like if you really want this to be a meaningful experience, are you really going to spend the next year arguing about the Needler design? 'Cause, like, realistically, your best case scenario is you get it. You know how long that took the art team?
like
Let's
10
be
days. Yeah,
let's be really, really, really not generous. A week.
a
They've got
week.
52 of those. Like, it's not gonna take a week. But,
Yeah.
like, let's be really, really honest. Like, it's not gonna take that long. So what are we gonna do? Argue over that for a year? Because that's the kind of things that they should be like, "Yeah, we'll bend." Like, this should not be a conversation between the fandom and, like, Halo Studios. If the fandom overwhelmingly is like, "Change the sky color of the sky to a weirder purple," then it's like, "Okay, fucking do it." Like, there's no pushback from Halo Studios. There
Yeah.
shouldn't be any level of pushback. What we should be having, like, a real honest back and forth, like, open, vigorous debate on is larger changes and larger experiential features being considered for this game. Otherwise, it's gonna be another Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary, which nobody fucking cares about right now.
Yes. So, this goes back, or not, this goes back. We talked about this yesterday. It wasn't recording.
Yeah.
Uh, one of
Yeah.
the things that I said.
Spoiler, we've had some of this conversation, and then, I messed everything up.
It's fine. No hurries, no worries. It's as I've always said, it is Murphy's law. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen, and
Mhm.
that will happen eventually. But so, the Halo fan base has this curse of, once the primary source of Halo gaming releases an announcement of what is going to happen, all of their criticism now gets placed in that box. This is a Fallout box, but all of our complaints now can only come out of what's in this box. It has to be design based, gameplay based, or what have you, as opposed
Yeah, I
to,
hate
hey,
that.
you know what? I'd actually like to add something in this box, or let's change the box entirely to
Yeah,
something that,
that's my problem. I think that there's just a crisis of imagination, not only with the studio that's developing this, that's not making enough meaningful changes, but also with fans. Like, why is it that fans are demanding such small changes for a game when you have a year of development time in front of you? If you have a year of development time, demand massive things. If you really are on team, I need DLC in the form of like book missions added to this game, then you lock the fuck in and you go
locked
make some
in.
content about that.
The
You
I'm
lock in
actually
and you
going to be
don't
doing that tomorrow.
I'm yeah, do it. Cool. That sounds awesome. But I'm saying, like, if you're gonna spend the next year arguing about the fucking hex color of a sky value, first of all, you should just get it. I'm on your side. You should have a weirder color sky. But this is if you don't get that, just if they can't give that to you, then this is not a two-way street of communication, baby. You need to demand more from your game devs.
Yes. Like, so that brings me into, like, you were talking about wanting DLC missions, and I'm
Yeah.
thinking. So they talked about these three prequel missions, and they said this is taking place. So from what I've heard in the news stories, from more
Mhm.
press release that I've gotten some information in
Mhm.
the past 24 hours, um, these missions will be taking place way back. Like,
Yeah.
this is going to be establishing Sergeant Johnson and Chief's relationship, and that's why in the concept art we see Chief in the Mark IV, because if we can get some Master Chief Mark IV, I will print that in. I will print that today. But um,
Ooh, SEO hack. Start tagging a bunch of videos with that, like 3 months before the game comes out, Mark IV Chief or something like that.
Mark IV Chief, Mark IV Chief. Um, but I will play as many missions as you make. Like, you can take as long as you want. I mean, don't take as long as you want, because I'm 30 and not getting any younger. But take as long as you want making your next, like, multiplayer experience. If you just keep delivering me a mission every 4 to 5 months, or a series of missions every 4 to 5 months that tells me a different story in the Halo universe, or like is doing prequel flashback stuff, please God, I would play that game over and over again, and people would eat that up, because we want to play through the Halo universe that we haven't gotten to experience. There's like an entire frame of time from like 2530 to 2540 that's barely covered in the books. There's 10 years there. You could just dump mission after mission into that span of time. The original trilogy takes place in, like, what is it, 8 months, 10 months, or something like that?
It's a really short
It's a
timeline.
really short period
It's
of
I think
time.
it's less than that because 'cause isn't it November 2552
Yeah, because Reach falls in
to, like
October.
it's like 2 months or
Yeah.
something like that, I
It
wanna
ends
say.
in it ends in March. I believe. March is
The
when
comments
the
will
Halo
tell
3
us how
takes
wrong
place.
we are, but
Yeah, the
whatever.
comments will tell us how wrong we are, but I believe it's from November to March. So, like, if Halo 1, 2, and 3 can cover November to March, dude, there is enough content that you could make as many, like, DLC and listen, I'm not a big fan of microtransactions, but if you wanted this to be your season pass and I had to pay $5 a DLC to get 10 missions, if it's expanding the prequel campaign or whatever, I'm in. My wallet is open. Please take my credits right now, Daddy Microsoft.
And for my part, my credits are in if you guys add some sort of meaningful longevity move like skulls or mods or something like that. I'm not saying, by the way, my ultimate wish would just be like a straight up mod browser that's built into the game.
Yeah.
But barring that, I think that you could get something akin to the one of the selling features of this game, the reason that people go play it for more than just 7 hours, maybe 100 hours of the course of their purchase lifetime, is these skull experiences that can really heavily modify the game. Some sort of way that gets me back into Halo Campaign Evolved for a second playthrough and a third playthrough. That's what'll get my money,
Yes.
other than the
Eh,
fact that I make Halo content.
yeah, other than we need Halo sorry, that jogged my memory is the because Microsoft owns Bethesda now, right?
Yep.
So Microsoft, just call Bethesda and ask them how they implemented the mod browser into Fallout 4. Like, it's on console. You can download mods on console. Like, it's super easy. If they've done it, I'm sure we can implement this, into our thing and just let community content
I know how
reign.
to do this. I know how to get this done. I know how to get this done. I know how to get this done. If they
Okay,
implement it, if they
tell
go to Bethesda, if they get Bethesda on the phone and they say, "We need to implement a mod browser, we need your experience," they're gonna say, hold on, let me get someone on the phone." They're gonna pass over the phone, they say, "Hello, this is Todd Howard. I heard that you're implementing mods, which means that there's another way for me to sell you Skyrim in the form of a Halo Campaign Evolved mod. I'm in. Let's do it. It
so
just works."
it just works. So what's gonna happen is you're gonna in that first mission, uh, it's gonna show we're gonna like show the Pillar of Autumn coming into the Halo, and then it's like unsealed the Hush casket or whatever, right? And it's gonna go and it's gonna show Master Chief waking up, but when it cuts to first person, it's the fade into Skyrim.
Oh my god, that should I wish we need to do I'm not saying that we have to do it right now, but we need to do the re-up, but that would have been the best way to end the episode right there.
Yes, yes.
Just like and then it cuts out in the Pillar of Autumn and then, "Hey, you're finally awake."
That's how we're ending. Yeah, that's it. The end of the episode is over. So
Alright,
we're gonna cut it right there. I'll have our editor cut that in right when I say,
okay,
and then Master Chief wakes up and it cuts out. And
yes.
so yeah, this has been the Oni podcast. You want me to? Sorry, you want me to give
No,
us
go
the ending?
please
Okay,
go for it, please.
we're gonna cut that little bit out from
Sure.
where I said fade out to that. All right, so this has been the Oni podcast. I'm Jack Spartan113 on TikTok. This is
Me? Cole.
yes.
Hi. Internet tour guide on TikTok and on YouTube. And here's what we need you guys to do, by the way, because we're just starting out. Please subscribe to us if you have not already. And also share this with other people, especially if for whatever reason you like us, like individually in our work, like share it with other people so that they know, so that we will keep on doing this show and keep on having more and better discussions. And thank you if you do.
All right. We'll see you next time, and thank you for coming into the office.
All right. Peace.